Greetings, Internet. Welcome back to But I'm Still a Good Person by Vince Nicholas. I'm Vince Nicholas, and ladies and gentlemen, my co-host needs no introduction. Her nicknames include Coo, Baby Cakes, and her grandfather called her Caroline. She enjoys telling me I'm loading the dishwasher incorrectly and eating giant bowls of hot soup in bed. But before I put an end to that nonsense, you may know her from the TV shows No Lennox, You Can't Have Another Nutty Buddy, or Don't Microwave That Takeout Food in the Styrofoam Container it came in because you'll get cancer. Please give a round of applause for the lovely, the talented, my sparkling wifey, Carolyn Nicholas. Hello, honey.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me at the dining room table for today's episode, today's program. So we ate at Carmelita's, which is a Mexican restaurant in Fair Oaks, California, and then later in the day we did a bang bang.
We took a break in between though.
Right. Well, I continued eating during the break, but let's not bring that up, honey. At Pheasant Club, but I call it Club Pheasant sometimes.
I think Club Pheasant is the name, but we always call it Pheasant Club.
No, I think it's Pheasant Club.
No.
Oh, okay. The Club Pheasant Club.
Do you doubt me?
I did, and I checked their PDF menu, and you're correct. But we'll call it interchangeably because who cares? And we've had a few hard seltzers. And this was Saturday. Today is Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday, which is when we went to these two institutions. And we went because it's our anniversary on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Tuesday is a weekday, and I have to go to work on Tuesday. So we decided we're going to go all out and go crazy on Saturday.
Yeah.
And so we did Carmelita's for quote-unquote breakfast. It was technically brunch, I'm sorry. And then we did Pheasant Club later in the day. They open at 4. They do the thing where they open for lunch, and then they close, and then they reopen at 4 for dinner.
Right.
Which... What did the staff do during the 2 to 3 hours while they're quote unquote closed?
When I worked at that pub in London,
yes,
we had days like this. And some days I would only come in for the evening shift, but some days I'd be scheduled the whole day.
And then
and it was too far. Well, it wasn't. It was like an hour for me to get home on the tube. So instead of going to the tube, I would go to a nearby flat where a bunch of my coworkers lived. It was like a 2-block walk.
So you would drink at work and then go to this flat and continue drinking and then head back. I gotta go to work, gents and ladies.
I'd have like 3-4 hours to kill. Sometimes I'd walk around, but usually I'd just go to their flat and chill, take a nap.
Would you be like, did you enjoy that? Wouldn't you rather just work 8 hours and get the hell out of Dodge?
Probably. I didn't care. I mean, I was 20. I was in London. Mm-hmm. I was happy. I was just happy to be there. Like I could walk around and it was beautiful and fun and exciting. So.
It can be referred to as split shifts, where you work a morning and then you have 2, 3, 4 hours off, and then the evening you come back. I worked as split shifts at iHeartRadio, Sacramento.
And
I worked split shifts at iHeartRadio, Sacramento, where I would work 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., and then to get more hours, to make more money, to be a full-time employee, I would have 10 to 2 off, and then I would come back 2 to 5 and help out in the afternoon.
Oh.
I hated it because first of all, you got to get in at 5 a.m., and then the 10 to 2 break, what the hell are you going to do with your life? You can't drink. You can't drink hard seltzers. You can't do drugs and get high. Not that I do that, kids. But you can't really go about your day because you got to come back for another 3 hours. And I despise split shifts. And to be frank, what happened was I live super close. But some people, because a lot of people did split shifts because iHeartRadio Sacramento is a terrible organization run by empty suits who have no ambition to program actual radio. But so people would drive in from Rockland or Lincoln or Folsom. And so they would drive in and then they would do 4 or 5 hours in the morning. And then what the hell are you going to do for 3 to 4 hours in Sacramento? I mean, you could go out to eat, but how much can you eat?
Why didn't you take them home to your apartment?
Well, I should have done that.
Do you know what they did or where they went?
I don't know. I think they just hung out. They might have gotten lunch, but again, that's an hour. You still, it's terrible. When you work split shifts, it means your employer hates you, is what I'm saying. Okay, so we celebrated our anniversary, honey. We have been married 2 years, which is technically on Tuesday, but we celebrated on Saturday. And so we had a whole day plan. Our plan was to leave our home at 10 a.m., get to the park where we got married.
In Fair
Oaks, California. We call it the chicken park because there's literally chickens and roosters running around, and it's a good time. But it's technically called Village Park. Mm-hmm. And technically it's in Fair Oaks, California, but we call it Old Fair Oaks or Fair Oaks Village. It goes by some various names.
Does it?
Yeah, it's super close to Sunrise Boulevard. And so our day was Fair Oaks Chicken Park, a.k.a. Village Park. We were going to do a family photo shoot, which the kids go crazy about.
They're so excited.
They love it. They can't get enough. And then we were going to hit up Carmelita's because that's where we got married 2 years ago.
We got married at the park,
yes.
And then we had our after ceremony lunch, drinks, party with everybody at Carmelita's a few blocks down the road.
Right.
So we decided to go back and go to the park and then go back to the same restaurant.
Right. And Carmelita's opens at 11, so we figured we left here at West Sacramento at 10, arrived there at 10:30, kind of futz around with lighting and our tripod.
We
family
walked around
shoot.
A little bit. The kids chased the chickens a little.
They chased the chickens, and then we walked 5 minutes away. I wouldn't even say a half mile from the park.
Oh yeah.
Super close. We went to Carmelita's, and then our plan was to come home and kind of chill out, and then Pheasant Club in West Sacramento opens at 4, and we were gonna go there by ourselves. So Carmelita's with the wild childs, with our kids, the wild childs, courtesy of Kesha with a $sign in her name, honey. And then with them, and then Pheasant Club by ourselves, sort of a just
romantic.
A me and you, a one-on-one, if you will.
And Pheasant Club we chose just because it's close. It's
right.
It's an old establishment. It's been around since 1935.
1935, yeah.
And we live really close to it, so it's a place we've been eyeing to go to ever since we moved out here. And it's like a sit-down indoor restaurant, so we thought that'd be a good place to go for our anniversary.
Right. It looks fancy, and we figured it was a West Sacramento institution, and since we're West Sacramento residents for a year now,
we're West Saxons.
We were born and raised in West Sacramento, like Gina Mixon, and we hate all the outsiders, the bridge and tunnelers who come in here and gentrify our West Sacramento that we grew up knowing and loving. So we're gonna go through the day. We get to the park, and we did the family photo shoot. Now that's when I go full dad, honey. I go full dad. I go full husband. I go full stepdad. I bust out the tripod. Which, kids, if you don't have a tripod, you're missing out.
A tripod with a remote.
A tripod with a Bluetooth remote. It's this tiny little thing. It's the size of
a tiny key fob.
A key fob, correct? Perfect. And you flip on the switch. It pairs your Bluetooth rather nicely, and then you set up the tripod however you want. And we get into the lighting and the angles and the background. That's when we really shine, and the kids despise us, honey, because the family photo shoot. What? Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. That remote.
Yes.
Has the remote makes it so much quicker.
Yes.
So the kids are much happier, I've noticed. Because before you would look in the camera.
Yeah.
You'd run over to us in the 10 seconds it takes a photo. You'd run back and look at it.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to reset it and run back. But now you just click the little clicker 100 times.
Yeah.
And you get a ton of shots.
We have way too many shots.
I noticed it was way quicker.
Yeah.
So it's getting better. The kids are happier.
Yeah. What used to happen is my phone, I don't know how many phones have this, but you have the timer. But it's either 3 seconds or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
3 seconds is too little. 10 seconds is way too much. But I would hit the 10 seconds. I would run 'cause sometimes we had to cross the street in Old Sacramento.
Yes, across the cobblestone street.
Right, with cars coming and people running around. I would have to run, and then I would kind of figure out when 10 seconds.
You would just stand there smiling, and I'm like, I think it's done.
Let's just keep this smile together for 3, 2, 1. And I had no idea what was going on, and it would take one shot. But yeah, well, the tripod that comes with the Bluetooth, and kids go on Amazon. This tripod, I think it was around $20, and you can get fancy tripods for 30-ish, 40-ish bucks, and you can get cheaper tripods for 10 or 15. Go with the tripod with the Bluetooth remote.
Yeah, life changing.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about family happiness. This had it. So we did the family photo shoot. I go full dad, and we did one with the family with darling daughter Luna Marie and darling son Lennox Sauber, and then we did a different photo shoot at a different angle because the lighting was poor.
Yeah,
so the lighting got poor within our photo shoot time.
So we rotated 30 degrees to the left.
Yeah, and we tried to, because we do have a picture on our wall that I'm looking at right now on our wedding day in front of this specific tree, and we tried to recreate it, but
we stood in the same order.
We did our best.
You know Luna has grown about 7 inches
right
in 2 years, and Lennox has grown a few as well.
Right. I've put on a few.
We've both put on some weight.
We don't fit into those clothes. Actually, now that burn those clothes, honey.
That's what I'm saying.
Trash those clothes. But anyways, Plaza Park. We have a fond spot in our heart for them. We did the photo shoot, but it wasn't more than 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it was so fun when you and I were doing our just us in the photos. The kids were running around playing with the chickens.
Right. They got to play with the chickens, and we, again, the remote, as you brought up earlier, problem solver, life hack.
Man.
This life hack on TikTok is changing lives. So we did the family photo shoot. We did the couple photo shoot. It didn't take forever. It went really quick. But one thing I did notice, we didn't go to... Now, we did the photo shoot in front of the tree, which we have pictures of from 2 years ago. But we didn't go to where we actually got married, which... There's like a wooden trellis.
Would you call it a patio? Or
Sure.
it's like a patio with like a wooden trellis over it. But there is a couple sitting there canoodling.
Yes.
Bunch of PDA.
Yes.
And I was thinking, should we go over there and just stand next to them?
Right. I was willing. Well, first of all, you thought they were ensconced in romance, and I thought they were in the middle of a breakup.
I know. We had very different interpretations of what was going on.
Right.
But there was a lot of touchy-feely going on.
Right.
So I think it was a loving moment.
I'm a pessimist and I'm a cynical person, so I thought it was the end of these two young crazy kids.
Excuse me, can you move your fight elsewhere so we can stand in the spot we got married?
No. See, I just wanted to go over there. I didn't, because it's not. Well, to be frank, it's not a trellis at a Napa winery. It's not a beautiful location, photo spot.
It's pretty enough.
It's fine. It did its service.
It was perfect for our wedding, for our little ceremony.
But it's not picturesque. It's not.
Sure. I didn't care that we didn't get a photo there or anything. Right. For some reason, I just wanted to stand in the spot where we said our vows.
I was ready. I was walking over, but you pulled me back. You held me back. Like I held Mike Rasmussen back at the Holy Cow Bar and Club when he wanted to get into fisticuffs with a young gentleman who may have bumped in the shoulder or may have not, or Mike was maybe just drunk. But we didn't walk over there, but that was
just being at the park was enough.
Yes.
And we got pictures by the tree, which is what we wanted.
Right.
So.
Right. Which are both on the socials, and you can follow us.
You can follow us on the gram.
Or DM us or something. So I send these pictures. I send a couple pictures to my mom. Hey, Mom. And my mom knows what's going on. Like, I told her our plans for the day. And so I send her a picture of the family. I send her a picture of me and you solo. I sent her a picture of Luna and Lennox kind of goofing around. We took pictures. Luna picked Lennox up, as she does. And Lennox screams in terror / delight.
Yes.
And it's a whole deal. So I sent a few pictures to my mom. And my mom replied with, and kids, let's just all settle down because this is when it gets real. My mom replied with her text, so romantic. Are the hearts feel the same? My mom just, she's always, what does she do? She's always just looking for chinks in the armor, honey.
Happy anniversary. Do you still like each other?
Are you Is divorce impending? Pending? Should I begin filing paperwork?
She loves me.
Remember when I told you to get that prenup? But seriously, people.
Wait, what?
My tiger mom. She means well, honey.
Did she really ask you to get a prenup?
She brought it up.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't?
No.
I didn't bring this up to you?
Well,
we're breaking walls down.
We'll talk about this off air.
Breaking barriers. She brought it up and I was like, nah.
What do you have that I would take?
Exactly. I have nothing.
No offense. I mean,
well,
we're both doing just fine, but
sure.
it's not like you're super different than me.
Yeah.
Or I different than you.
Yeah. Listen, this is my mom, and she always prepares for the worst. I'm a glass half empty. She's a glass empty person,
completely empty,
and she's always looking for holes in the Titanic, a hole in the Titanic, so she can be like, look, you were wrong and I was right. She's very cynical. Anyways, that's my mom. Let's move on to Lennox Albert, darling son.
Geez.
Okay. We're getting ready. We're getting pretty here in our condominium.
Oh, do you remember what he said yesterday? First of all, when we first woke up.
Yes. Oh, yes. Go ahead.
I said, Lennox, we're going to the park in an hour. And he said, okay.
No, he said, what? Where are you going?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. I said, Lennox, we're leaving in an hour. And he said, where are you going? I said,
thinking it just me and you are going somewhere. Yes.
And I said, no, you're coming with us. And he said,
what? Where am I going? Well, we were just like, all right, this is setting the tone for the day.
This boy does not like to leave the house.
Right.
He doesn't like to go anywhere.
Why would you when there's Unspeakable on the YouTube and Mr. Beast on the YouTube and Minecraft on his Switch and something on it. This boy he's playing Minecraft on the Switch. He has his phone with Mr. Beast or Pat and Jen or some Minecraft YouTubers. And then he has his television, which is connected to the internet, which is also streaming whatever, some YouTuber on Minecraft. So he's got three. I walked in today and he was very focused on his Switch, the phone, which is very small, obviously, right next to the Switch. And he wasn't even facing his television. Meanwhile, his television was going, oh my God, guys, leave me down in the comments. Should I get this treasure trove? I don't know. They're always screaming.
That was it. That's very...
They're always screaming. Like. These YouTubers who get millions of views, let's be honest. He doesn't like to leave the house, is what we're saying. So yeah, he expressed displeasure well, first he was just like, where are you guys going? And then once he was included in the plans...
it went 0 to 100 when he was suddenly having to go. Then I told him to get dressed, and he came out in this...
Okay, yeah. So he comes out. So he's in his jammies, which are tank top and basketball shorts. And he comes out dressed in tank top and different basketball shorts. But the basketball shorts were neon green.
He was wearing a royal blue shirt with like a neon green, black, like some chaotic pattern. It was totally clashing top to bottom.
Right.
And then, in our family photo we were planning on taking, we knew it was going to clash with that.
It does. Neon green basketball shorts don't photograph well, darling son Lennox Albert.
So we forced him to change his shorts.
Well, here's what happened. So he's like at the counter eating whatever he was eating. He was snacking on granola bars.
He was eating Pringles, honestly. He had Pringles for breakfast.
He did. Don't call Child Protective Services on us. So he's there, and I walk out of our room, and I see him wearing neon green shorts. And I was like, okay. But I was going to say something, but then I was like, My wife has got this. My wife is going to say something.
Yeah, you knew I was.
Carolyn Nicholas has this handled. I will refrain from jumping in on this this confrontation. So when you saw him, you were like, change.
Yeah, and so he huffed and puffed his way into his bedroom, changed his shorts, and then about every 10 minutes for the next 2 hours,
yes,
he said, "Why did I have to change?"
Right. So he capitulates, he gives up, and he changes, but then he keeps bringing up, why did you make him change? He brought it up once here, actually twice here. Once very quickly after he changed, and then twice when we were about to leave, and then a third time when we were in Fair Oaks.
He brought it up when we got to the park. He brought it up when we were at Carmelita's.
Yes.
But why did I have to change?
Right.
And then something he always says to me, because we kind of fight when I'm trying to get him dressed for school, or he gets dressed for school, and sometimes I'm like, you can't wear those shorts, you gotta change, and so and then he gets really angry, and he always says, why does looking good matter? Oh. Why is it important to look good?
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm plucking my eyebrows for 45 minutes twice a week. It will matter, son. It will matter. You are 9 right now, and you don't get it. But well, to quote Chris Tucker in the great movie Friday, why are you bringing up old shit? He just keeps bringing things up and stoking the fire.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I answer him. I explain why I want him to change.
Yes.
But then he'll ask me 5 more times. Right. Bring it up 5 more times.
Right. And it was...
that boy. He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
He entertains me to no end.
Yes. He's a handful. He's a darling, Lennox Albert.
Mm-hmm. Precocious.
We love him. He's incorrigible. He's precocious. He's something.
We'll bring him up again when we get to Carmelita's and his food.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, well, to juxtapose it, Darling Daughter Luna Marie, very easygoing.
Agreeable. Easygoing.
Simpatico. Just chill. She doesn't question things. She might question things, but then she moves on. She doesn't question things 5 times over the course of an hour and 20 minutes.
You answer her and she's like, oh, okay.
Right. Or you don't. Or you say, because. Or you say, because I said so. Anyways.
Very different kids.
And just another note on the Lennox, as we call him, Lennox Albert, darling son. At one point, so we get to the park and we do the photo shoot, and then we walk to Carmelita's, which is literally, like I said, maybe a quarter of a mile, 5-minute walk.
2 to 3 blocks.
Yeah. In Old Fair Oaks / Fair Oaks Village, which is sort of downtown from a small town, 1950s downtown. Yeah, it's not downtown Sacramento.
Oh, right.
But he was like, he just started coming in with, I don't like walking. I don't like downtown. I don't like crowds.
I hate it here. I don't like this area.
And I turned to him and I said, Len, we need less negativity, less beginning sentences with I don't like, or sometimes they drop the D, and I mean Lennox and Luna. I don't like this. I don't like that. I was like, less just complaining. Like, we're chilling. It's our quote unquote anniversary. It's a family time. Yeah. We're walking. It's fair weather.
You and I are feeling all lovey-dovey and like reminiscing.
Right.
And then he's like, I hate this area. I don't like being around people.
Right. I was just like, take it down a notch, Len. And I said that on the way to Carmelita's. But actually, I just thought of, he asked an informational question. Why'd you guys get married here? And I said, well, it all began with the great Judy Farah, who took me way back not way back, but a few years ago, we had coffee.
You and I were dating, but it was like 6 months or so into our relationship.
Okay.
It was before we got married, obviously. I remember this. Yeah, and she took you, or you guys met there.
Yeah,
like,
we
had
met
coffee and hung out.
because we had both been laid off by iHeart Sacramento Radio, which is a wonderful media conglomerate.
Are you under contract to not say?
No, but that's for the Patreon, honey. That's when I get real.
Wow.
And I talk about Bill White and iHeartRadio Sacramento.
Name drop.
And Armstrong and Getty. But anyways. Judy Farah, who lives in Orangevale. Mm-hmm. The great Judy Farah, editor extraordinaire, I call her. But I was like, hey, let's meet. Let's just catch up. By the way, what the weirdest thing is that Judy Farah, she worked in the afternoons, I worked early mornings. We very rarely cross paths. We cross paths. Well, we quote unquote worked together when I was working split shifts because she worked afternoons. She worked 2 to 10-ish, something like that. So in my early days at iHeartRadio Sacramento, we would work together when I was working split shifts. But then when I stopped working split shifts and I would just work like 2 to 10-ish, something like that, I wouldn't see her. But when we both got that ixnay from iHeartRadio Sacramento, we started chatting again, like via Facebook Messenger, and just kind of keeping up and talking about iHeartRadio Sacramento.
You mean talking truth?
Being real. We out here unleashed. And we would just iHeartRadio. Well, let's be honest. iHeartRadio Sacramento laid off this person, and they laid off this person, and they laid off that person who might be gay, and they laid off this African American. But let's not get into the too much truth, honey. That's for the Patreon, for our OnlyFans. But we really like kind of struck up our friendship or our relationship, whatever, after we both got laid off. But anyways, she was like, I don't know if it was me or her. Let's meet for coffee. Hey, she lives in Orangevale. Let's meet at Fair Oaks Coffee House, Deli, something like that. Like literally across
the street from the park.
Right, across the street from the park. And we went there and we chatted and we talked to S about the executives and management at iHeartRadio Sacramento. But I was like, this place is cool because there's chickens. Mm-hmm. And I always like to say it's 2 seconds from Sunrise Boulevard, but it feels like you're walking into 1950s Americana. Just a lot of old school.
It's very charming and cute.
Charming, cute, small town feel. And then I brought you there. I proposed to you there.
Yeah, we went there a couple times. We went to the chicken festival that they have every year.
Yes. And we met your cousin Lindsay.
Yeah, we've been to that a couple times. Mm-hmm. Yes. So you proposed to me here.
Yes.
We ended up having our wedding here. So it's a special little place to us.
Absolutely. Super meaningful. So
thank you, Judy Farah.
Yes, thank you, Judy Farah.
And then for a wedding gift, Judy gave us like a 7-inch tall little like chicken rooster statue thingy.
I'm looking at it right now.
We have it on our bookshelf.
It's on our bookshelf.
It's super cute. And she gave it to us because of the chicken park and that connection.
Absolutely. And I posted a picture of us at the chicken park, and her comment was, I had a hand
in this.
I had a hand in this.
I think she said I should be there because I had a hand in this.
Right. I was vital. I introduced, and she was. Well, we talk about women in our lives. Judy Farah and Judy Zone, who used to own this condominium that we currently reside in. Very important to our lives. And so we did the family photo shoot. Lennox, angry little man, who we love, was. He was himself. So we get done with the photo shoot, and we walked 5 minutes down the street to Carmelita's, which is what we did on our wedding day. Mm-hmm. We were like, hey, everyone, Carmelita's is down the street. There's no turns. There's no left and right. There's no directions. You just keep walking. And so if you remember, we had the whole parking thing because it's a 2-hour parking. Yeah. So we were like, if you want to move your car, there may be parking down the street. Yeah. We didn't, there wasn't much organization going on.
Yeah, it was fine. It all worked out just fine.
It worked fine. So we went to Carmelita's, which is called Carmelita's, located in Fair Oaks, California, or Old Fair Oaks, or Fair Oaks Village. Cuisine, ethnicity, Mexican.
Yep.
Traditionally.
Mexican, and I love the decor and the ambiance of this place.
Yes.
You walk in and it's really pretty. There's like colored glass. Mm-hmm. There's tons of like Mexican decor, very like Mexican culture.
Yeah.
I don't know what the things are called.
Well,
I don't know the name of
glass?
anything. Those like paper colored squares hanging on the ceiling.
Yes.
And there's lights.
Yes.
And it's really pretty. I love it there.
Yeah.
It's a fun place to eat if you ever get the chance to go.
Right. It's very Latinx, if you will. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Is that politically correct? But it's fun. It's fiesta, siesta, Hispanic. Lots of colors. And we ate, there's the inside, which is nice.
It's really nice, yeah.
Sort of more formal. But then there's the outside, which is where we had our wedding party.
We had the whole patio to ourselves that day.
Right. And you can see down to Sunrise Boulevard, which you kind of got to walk over to the side and peer and lean over the edge of the few bricks there and flowers and peer over, and you might see some traffic on Sunrise Boulevard. It's not the top of a skyscraper, but it's charming.
It's really pretty because there's so many. The patio's surrounded by trees. There's palm trees.
Yeah.
It's up on a hill, so you are looking down. So even though you're looking down on like Sunrise, there's still lots of trees and green. It's really pretty.
Oh yeah.
There's tons of colorful flowers up there on the patio. There's a fountain.
Yeah.
It's really fun and festive.
They got the decor going on, and again, you can look down and see the oil change place on Sunrise Boulevard and all the traffic on Sunrise Boulevard. But it's cool. It's a sweet outdoor spot for Fair Oaks Village, Old Fair Oaks. Good for kids, absolutely. Casual, formal dress, very casual. Cash, as they say. Staff friendly / helpful. Absolutely, we had a large Hispanic gentleman who who waited on us. I thought it was very good. And speed of service, wait time, I would classify as good.
Yeah. No complaints.
Yeah, absolutely zero. There's Valentina bottles everywhere you look. Len, we take it back to Lennox Albert. For some reason, we sit down and we all take our masks off. I pull mine to my chin because that's my move. You and Luna Marie took your masks off.
Yeah.
Lennox Albert kept his mask on and kept pouting because he wasn't watching Unspeakable on YouTube. And so he has his mask on, he's pouting, and a few times, at least one time, you were like, I can't understand.
Oh, yeah. He kept talking, and I would lean my ear down to his face.
Right.
And I could barely hear him.
It was like, what do you want? And it's like, dude, you're pouting and you have a mask on. I cannot understand you communicate.
Yeah, you finally told him to just take it off.
Yeah. So let's get to our food. Okay, so they bring out the chips and salsa first.
Oh, man.
Now, there's two dips. There's the salsa and there's the like a bean dip.
It was black bean.
Black bean dip. Both in small containers, but they bring out two of the red salsa and then one of the black bean dip. What did you think of the chips and what did you think of the salsa, darling?
The chips were great.
Chips were outstanding.
The red salsa was really good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like the perfect amount of spice.
Yeah.
And I like black beans.
Right.
You don't.
No.
But so I liked the black bean dip, but it doesn't have as much flavor. Mm-hmm. No spice.
Right.
So the red stuff was definitely better.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed the red dip. I like more chunks, more like pico de gallo texture-y.
Yeah.
This was more thinny,
it was
watery,
totally
liquidy.
Thin liquid.
But I dug it. It was very tasty. The black bean, it was beans, but I'm not really a bean guy. But if you're into beans, I'm sure it's fine. But I didn't really dig it, but it was fine. And like this whole week I've been off. Sorry, Mom. I meant to come down, but I didn't realize I was gonna be off until Friday, and I didn't. At that point, I didn't want to book a flight. I didn't want to think about booking. I didn't want to travel. I wanted to spend time with my family, which I did. We snuggled every morning this week. Was 7 days of snuggling, 7 mornings straight of snuggling too much, honey?
Never.
Yeah. So I've been on track. I lost a little weight for our anniversary shoot. They bring out these beans and salsa and chips, and I'm like, you always hear don't fill up on the chips and salsa because you got your food, and chips and salsa is delectable, and They give them to you like they're going out of business, like they're going out of style. So in my head, I'm like, don't fill up on the chips and salsa. But then also in my head, it was like the angel on my left shoulder and the devil on my right shoulder. The devil on my right shoulder was like, eat some chips. Eat as many chips as you want. Dip it in the red sauce.
Well, I remember as soon as they brought the chips and salsa, you said, I'm off track.
Right.
And then you dug in.
Absolutely. I'm off track. I've been on track this whole week, trying to look good for our anniversary shoot. But we did our anniversary shoot, and we mentioned this a couple times. Like, we took our pictures. And we're ready to put them on the gram, on the Facebooks and the Twitters. So I don't need to look good anymore.
The other reason, I think all of us, except for maybe Lennox, we all spilled food on ourselves.
Yeah.
So I kept saying, this is why we took the picture first.
Right. We did spill food.
We were a mess.
We were a mess, but it was like, well, we got our pictures in, and that's just a handy tip to you people out there. Get your pictures in and then go hog wild. Eat whatever you want,
and then you let yourself go
and spill whatever you want on your shirts and pants. So I was like, on the angel on my left shoulder said, "Don't fill up on chips and salsa because we ordered entrees, which we'll get to in a moment." But then the devil was like, "Eat as many chips as you want." Go crazy. You could only gain 10 pounds in a day, Vince, to be frank. So I started going in, and, well, TLDR, spoiler alert, by the end of the meal, I was like, I ate too many chips and salsa.
How many chip baskets did they bring us? Do you remember? Like 4?
4, yeah.
They kept bringing them.
Right.
Like, do you want more? Yes.
Sure.
Great. Keep them coming.
They're quote-unquote free. and well, yeah. Well, that I felt it from Carmelita's, and then I kept feeling it until Pheasant Club. Oh, well, it was I imbibed honey, but yeah. So TLDR, I ate too many chips and salsa. So kids, simmer down on the chips and salsa, but they bring it to you, and it's free, and you're waiting for your regular entree. So why not go hog wild, go crazy? Okay, so let's move on to actual food. What we ordered. Now, Luna Marie, darling daughter, she ordered a bean burrito. Now, okay, so it was Sunday morning, 11-ish.
Yeah.
They had the brunch menu, but they also had the dinner menu. And Luna Marie ordered, she just got a bean burrito.
Yeah, both the kids ordered off the kids menu. And Luna only did that because she likes her bean burritos so basic. Mm-hmm. She doesn't like all the extra veggies and stuff.
Right.
So,
she doesn't like sauce. She doesn't like onions.
So the best option for her was the kids menu. So bean and cheese burrito came with a side of pinto beans and Spanish rice.
Correct.
Lennox got a chicken taco with a side of pinto beans and Spanish rice.
Correct. Chicken taco, no lettuce.
No lettuce, so it only came with chicken and cheese.
Mm-hmm. And Luna scarfed down her bean. Now, she's a quick eater.
She cleaned her plate. Yeah, she is a quick eater, but she also really liked it.
Right.
She ate everything. She was the first one done, as usual.
Yeah. She just Monday to Friday, Nicholas/Garcia family dinners. She's the first to eat.
Yep.
She's the first to leave the dining room table. And Lennox, well, he takes a little while longer. But yeah, she scarfed down her bean burrito, rice and beans, cleaned her plate. Should we ask her right now? She's there. Luna, how'd you like your bean burrito at Carmelita's?
It was really good and it filled me up.
Really good and it filled me up. And then she also ordered the Mexican hot chocolate.
She is a hot chocolate fiend.
Yes.
We go through a ton of hot chocolate packets.
Yeah.
She like almost every day she's having a mug.
We get her the Swiss Miss, which is on the cheap end, but she's happy and she likes the fake marshmallows and she pours milk in there.
Right.
She heats it up. She's a happy camper.
So I saw on the menu the Mexican hot chocolate, which she's never had. So I thought that would be fun. So we got a mug of that.
Right, which is described as authentic Mexican cocoa plus chocolate bits plus whipped cream.
And if you've never had this, it's basically hot chocolate, and the thing that sets it apart from American hot chocolate, I guess, is it has like cinnamon in it.
Yeah. And it costs $5. Luna, how did you like your hot chocolate, your Mexican hot chocolate?
It was good. I thought it should have a little more flavor, and there was a lot of cinnamon.
Good. Could have had a little more flavor. Too much cinnamon.
Oh, that's right. When she finished all the liquid, there's like clumps of cinnamon in the bottom of the mug. That's right.
Cinnamon. I had a sip of it. fine.
Yeah, it wasn't super flavorful.
Yeah, but for $5 when she downs a Swiss Miss by the boatload, which costs like 8 cents per bag, it's not worth $5.
Hey, it was our anniversary weekend. Okay.
Yeah, we went all out. So let's move. So Luna, happy camper. Let's move to Lennox Albert Garcia, Darling Lennox. He had the chicken taco, no lettuce, which also came with some rice and beans. And he said there was too much cheese. So you kind of...
First of all, they set down his plate and he says, "This isn't what I was expecting."
Right.
And so he's very timid to take a bite.
And he's very specific about what he wants.
And I'm like, you have to take a bite. You have to taste it.
Yeah. And what they do is they fry the taco shell.
Yeah, it's a crispy shell.
It's a crispy shell.
So he took a bite and then he said, "This is good." Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he didn't love the cheese. He ate like half the taco with the cheese, and then he asked if I could take it out, so I scraped it out with my fork.
Well, he cannot use a fork to remove cheese from a tiny taco.
Why should he do it when I'm sitting right there, honey?
Right. That's your the contract you signed for 18 years of scooping cheese from a taco. But yeah, halfway, a few bites through, he was like, "This is too much cheese," and you remove the cheese.
And as he was eating, he's like, "I don't like this. I don't like this."
Right.
That was the first half of the taco.
Yes.
The second half of the taco, suddenly, "This is the best taco I've ever had.
Yes.
I love this. This is so good.
Yeah.
This is making me have so many memories."
Really?
Yeah.
What memories? He's 9. This is like Luna when she's like, "When I was little." You're 12, girl. What the hell? Well, maybe that just means we're old, honey. But so he was skeptical at first, but he really enjoyed the taco. Too much cheese, and he ordered no lettuce. Which, well, this boy used to tell him about
not
this
used
boy
to
and
currently
heads of lettuce, iceberg lettuce.
We buy heads of iceberg lettuce.
Yes,
and he will eat almost an entire head of iceberg lettuce in a day.
Right.
Just plain, nothing on it.
You like whip out the iceberg lettuce from the fridge, which we get from Walmart, and you slice it up a little.
And I just rip it.
You rip it.
Like I rip it, I rinse it, I like pat it dry, and I give it to him on a plate. And this boy goes to town just eating it with his hands.
Yeah.
And I recently asked him, of all your favorite foods, he has like 5 favorite foods.
Okay.
And I named him off, and I said, if you had to only have one of those for the rest of your life, what would you choose? And he chose lettuce. So I was shocked that he didn't get the lettuce on his taco. I don't know why.
He's impenetrable. He's difficult to pin down.
Yeah, he's an enigma.
Like, he's an enigma. He's an entity. Like most politicians, it's hard to figure him out. But yeah, so he was very just hesitant when beginning of his taco. By the middle of his taco, he was into his taco.
He was euphoric.
Right. He was in a higher ground, as Steve Winwood would say. Old school reference. But he didn't finish his taco. Now,
he said,
yes,
he said it was so filling.
Right.
He did like the beans and rice too. He had a few bites of those, but he just said he was so full. He couldn't eat more.
And as we mentioned, Luna Marie can polish off a bean burrito in 3 minutes flat. Lennox Albert takes his time, and it was 25 minutes in, and he had gotten through about 2/3 of his taco, and he was full. And so he kind of threw in the towel, and I know he does this. He waves the white flag because he pushed his dish towards me. Like, go ahead, Dad.
That's the signal.
Go ahead, stepdad. This is why you have a dad bod. You eat my leftovers because you don't like wasting money.
And you're sitting there like watching him biding your time until you get to finish the leftovers.
Well, we go back to Yard House, and twice in his miniature pizza, his kid-sized pizza, his small pizza, whatever it was, I was like, "Len, do you want me to eat that? Do you want me to finish that?" "No, I got it." And then about 60% through, he's like, "Okay, I'm done." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I guess I gotta eat this pizza." But he got about 2/3 through the taco, and then he pushed it towards me, saying, "Dive in, fat boy."
I turn it over to you.
Right, he turned it over to me. He gave me the mic. Like J.C. Chazé hands it over to Justin Timberlake. Take the solo. No, it was the opposite, honey. We'll listen to this, I promise you, in bed this morning, by the way.
Yes, we did.
It's very romantic. But I had it. It was a good taco. It would have my review is that it would have been better freshly fried, which he got to enjoy. But it was a solid taco with chicken and some cheese in there, which he scraped away, honey. Okay, so he said it was the best taco ever. Luna enjoyed her bean burrito. Let's move on to what we ordered. Honey, you got the wife's grandma morning...
Wife's?
Enchiladas.
Grandma's morning enchiladas.
Okay,
I think it was
I don't know
called.
where I got wife.
I'm your
you know
wife.
what?
You're looking at me.
Right. Well, it was my notes.
Wife's.
I wrote wife, and then I wrote grandma's morning. So the technical term is grandma's morning enchiladas for $15, which includes shredded chicken, 2 eggs over medium, green tomatillo salsa, 2 enchiladas, sour cream, avocado, Monterey Jack cheese, Spanish rice, and pinto beans for $15. What was your initial impression? How did you like it, honey?
I ate all of it. I didn't eat all of my beans and rice because
Yes.
I was trying not to gorge myself. I was trying not to feel completely bloated and sick at the end of the meal.
Why not? I felt horrible. It was fabulous.
So my takeaway is I don't need eggs on top of my enchiladas.
Right.
I ate them all. They were yummy.
Yeah.
I would just prefer to have plain old enchiladas next time. So this is my first time having that.
It was odd because, like, it's brunch menu, but so enchiladas are enchiladas. Here's a dinner dish, but then here's a couple eggs on top, and now it's brunch.
Yeah, it was basically 2 chicken enchiladas with green sauce, and then they threw 2 fried over medium eggs on top. It's just it's kind of odd,
right?
But it was yummy. I ate it. I enjoyed it. Would I get it again? No. But I would get these enchiladas again, just without the eggs. Sans egg.
I had and you didn't eat it all. You had some rice left.
I had a ton of rice and beans left. I did eat some of the rice and beans because I wanted to eat all of it, honey.
Yeah, the rice. We all had the rice. We all had the beans.
All of us did on our plates. Huh?
Right, and the rice was good. The beans were good.
Sure, yeah.
I don't like refried beans because it's the paste.
You don't like any beans, do you?
I will tolerate beans.
There's a spectrum. Some are better than others.
Right. If I have to have beans, I'd rather have whole pinto beans.
And these were whole pinto beans, yeah.
Yeah, they had whole pinto beans, but there was also some just crushed up paste pinto beans. But it was good. But you didn't finish your dish, and the large Hispanic gentleman who was our waiter took away your dish.
Yeah.
And I wanted to. There was still rice on there. I wanted to eat. I wanted to finish your rice.
Bring that back.
Listen, as a dad, you don't want to waste money, yo. No. But how would you rate your 1 to 10, honey? Your grandma's morning enchiladas.
Okay. It was 7. They're good. They were yummy.
Yeah.
They didn't blow me away. They didn't leave an impression.
Yeah. Eggs unnecessary, but eggs are. Who's gonna turn down?
You know, another thing.
Yes.
The chicken was shredded, and you and I are both anti-shredded chicken when it comes to like burritos, tacos, enchiladas, that kind of thing.
Give me the grilled chicken, whole pieces of chicken.
And I knew this. I knew this. It's on the menu, right? Shredded chickens.
Yeah.
I went into this eyes wide open.
Right.
It was fine. It was yummy, but
you knew what you were getting into.
But yeah, not fantastic.
Okay. You gave it a 7. I got the chorizo and eggs. I'm a big chorizo guy. Whenever we go to a Mexican restaurant / taqueria / whatever, I'm all about that chorizo. So I got chorizo and eggs, which is $13, which is described as chorizo plus scrambled eggs plus roasted chile plus ranchero potatoes plus pico plus sliced avocado plus Spanish rice plus pinto beans. Plus I got some flour tortillas. They give you the option of corn tortillas or flour tortillas. I got the flour tortillas just because corn is quote unquote better tasting, but flour is more pliable. Like if you want to throw some stuff in a tortilla, stick with the flour because you can get more stuff in there and it bends more. Is that the gluten, honey?
I don't know. They're both delicious.
Right.
They're both different.
So my take is that the chorizo and eggs were solid. It was a good chorizo. Now, you go to some of these taquerias, and they cheap out on the chorizo.
Yeah.
You know right away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very dry, tasteless. And
there's no neon orange juice running down your forearms.
Yes.
That is the sign.
Yes, like a nuclear waste, a nuclear waste seeping,
bursting out of the tortilla
from your burrito, from your tortilla. That's what a great chorizo sausage should be. This was a good chorizo sausage, good quality, but just there wasn't a lot to it. Now, how they broke down, how they arranged, designed, how they plated my my entree was about a third of the plate was the Spanish rice, which we all got. A third of the plate was the pinto beans, which we all got, and then a third of the rice was they mixed the potatoes and eggs and chorizo. Now, as you know, honey, I don't like scrambles. I don't like everything mixed together. Mm-hmm. I like it separate. If I want some chorizo with some potato, I will eat some chorizo with some potato. But if you throw it all together, it's kind of there's no turning back. I'm kind of I'm at wit's end, and I have to eat this chorizo with potato. And I felt that they put on the potatoes as the base on the bottom, the most plentiful ingredient, and then they throw on the eggs and chorizo on top of the papas, the potatoes. And I felt that this was a way to conceal the lack of quality chorizo. So in the end, it was a bunch of carbs, a
bunch of starch,
subpar carbs, and very little chorizo, and then there was 1 egg in there, 2 eggs, I'm not even sure. But I just didn't like that. I normally get, whenever we go to a Mexican restaurant, I normally get a chorizo breakfast burrito, and I always say only chorizo and eggs.
Yeah, you're a purist.
Yes, and then throw a tortilla around it so you can hold it, so you can handle what's going on. But I don't like when they throw pico on there. I don't like when they throw potatoes on there because the potatoes are usually crappy. I don't like when they throw cheese on there because the cheese is usually greasy and low quality cheese. So I noticed, there was there was just not a lot of chorizo going on.
Mostly potatoes is what's happening. Okay.
Right. Just like when you order a burrito, it's a lot of potatoes. And potatoes, I could take it. Their ranchero potatoes were fine, but I wasn't a big fan. And then, like I said, they ask you what kind of tortillas do you want, and I said flour. And I guess theoretically you could start throwing in some potatoes and into a flour tortilla, which came wrapped up in aluminum, so it kept it warm. And theoretically, you could start throwing some beans and rice and chorizo and eggs in this tortilla. But then I was like, well, I'm not out here. I'm not an employee. I'm not out here trying to make burritos for Carmelitas. So I ate like 10% of my flour tortilla. Then I was like, okay. Well, and you talk about, we had endless chips galore, fresh hot chips. So as just in terms of experience in eating, I would rather eat like some eggs and chorizo on a crispy, crunchy, fresh, hot, salty chip as opposed to kind of boring flour tortilla. So, like I said, I ate 10% of the tortilla. I kept eating the chips, which led to me wanting to go home and die because I ate way too much. But yeah, just very little chorizo, not a lot of egg, a lot of potatoes. The Spanish rice, good.
Yeah.
The beans, they were beans. They weren't terrible. But yeah, 1 to 10, my chorizo and eggs, is that what it was called? I don't remember. Yeah, chorizo and eggs for $13. I'd give it a fine 6. It was fine.
Yeah.
It needs more chorizo and maybe less potatoes if they're taking and giving in this dish. So overall, honey, how would you how would you rate our experience at Carmelita?
Well, you know what? Our experience overall, I will give a solid 9.
What?
Because I'm throwing in our surroundings. Yeah. I'm throwing in the kids. The kids were both happy and they both ate their food, which is a win. Right. As you know, they're so dang picky.
Right.
It was just was sentimental because we had our wedding party there. Yeah. The surroundings were beautiful, sunny. The weather was perfect.
Weather was excellent.
It was sunny, but it was cool. Mm-hmm. We were outside, beautiful flowers all around and whatnot. Yeah. So I had a fabulous time. My food was satisfactory. Yeah. But my experience was fabulous.
Yeah. I would. It was a good time. Again, I had my problems with my food, but I was with my family. It was as you mentioned, the weather, and it was our anniversary. And Lennox Albert was Lennox Albert, and he reminded us multiple times that it wasn't technically our anniversary because that happens Tuesday. But we were like, well, it's Saturday, and we're celebrating now.
Back to him repeating himself. He kept saying, but why are we here? Your anniversary is on Tuesday. But why are we here today? I'm like, dude, we've told you multiple times.
Yeah. Well, this is Gavin Newsom's fault in distance learning because he'll, in the middle of Thursday, he'll turn to us and be like, what day is it? Well, son, it's a weekday. It's a Thursday. It comes after Wednesday. And it's before Friday. Okay, so that was Carmelita's. And then we came home and full AF. As Helk, as we sometimes say. And for some reason, I continued eating. I ate...
you were like, I want a snack.
Right. Well, this is how I operate, honey.
I know.
And I starve myself, and I hate myself, and I want to curl up and die from Monday to Friday. But when I unleash... And what's it like being on your side of the end? Seeing when I just keep eating and putting stuff in to the point of pain, honey, and hurt. What do you think? What's going through your head?
Well, you're funny because you'll snack all weekend, and then you'll say, next weekend, I only allow me to eat one bag of trail mix. Right. And I want you to tell me this. Right. And so I'll be like, okay, honey, I got you.
I want you to grab my arm and look me in the eye and say, do you really want to eat these this bag of potato chips?
So next
week, bag of licorice, is this what you want? These red vines, will these make you happy? I'd literally tell you that.
So the next week comes around.
Yes.
And I'm like, you start snacking, and I'm like, do you remember what you told me? Well,
first we start drinking booze, honey. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
And like, do you remember what you told me? You're only one to snack. And you're like, who was that guy? Don't listen to him.
That guy's an idiot. And plus I live.
So I'm like, okay, you're an adult. Do what you want.
I work out. I'm strong. But, you can't stop me.
You starve yourself all week long, and then you want to curl into a ball and die and hate yourself. Right. And then you snack all weekend long, and you still want to curl into a ball and die, and you hate yourself.
This is eye-opening, honey. Wow.
Is it?
And my mom suggested a prenup if you don't.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't remember. I don't know. Well, these are just revelations coming out on, but I'm still a good person. Okay, so we come home. I want to die, but I can. So I go to the cupboard, or as you call the pantry.
Oh, this is a heated debate. Is it a pantry or is it a cupboard?
Let's not bring it. We don't have an hour and 45 minutes to get into this.
That'll be another pod.
But I remember eating the sweet Maui onion potato chips, which I like. They're in the purple bag. Yep. And then I ate pork rinds. And then I ate trail mix.
You ate trail mix. Yep.
And I probably had something else, which I can't think of right now. But at about so we had planned to go out at 3:45, and Pheasant Club is 2-minute drive from
Pheasant Club opens at 4:00, so we wanted to get there right when it opened.
Yeah. So at 2:15ish, I was like, okay, I'm done eating. I'm gonna give myself an hour and a half to quote unquote get hungry, and then I'm gonna pig out at Pheasant Club for an overpriced amount of money for a piddling amount of food. So we go to Pheasant Club at 4:00. And again, they're open, I forget the exact, 11 to 2, I want to say. And then they close, and who knows, their cooks and their waitresses smoke the weed or vape for 2 hours. They engage.
They smoke a doobie and then fall asleep.
Right. They engage in sex parties or orgies like Mario Batali's old restaurant, allegedly. So we go there right when it opens at 4:00. We get there at 3:55, 5, 3:58. We were there before 4.
Yep.
There were people there.
Yeah. There was like 2 or 3 parties ahead of us.
Right. And they don't open at 4. They open at 4:02. and so more people had come. So at that, when we all walked in, there were probably 15 to 20 people sort of milling around in the queue, waiting to get in, which translates into 5 parties, 7 parties. Let me just go into the agencies. The Pheasant Club, Club Pheasant, opened in 1935. Location in West Sacramento on Jefferson and Lake Washington, literally on the corner. Cuisine, ethnicity, I would say it's American. I don't. They got steak, they got prime rib, they got pasta. Ambiance, decor. It was opened in 1935, and we were wondering, have they remodeled since 1935?
I don't think anything inside has changed since they opened.
Right.
It's very old-fashioned.
It's old school.
Yeah. Which is kind of fun. It was unique for
Absolutely.
sure.
You're stepping into a tradition.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wonder, did they remodel? Did they change anything in 1972? And this is the 1972 incarnation version.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't know. It's very old school. There's on the wall, hanging on the wall, there are pictures of dead people. Giant pictures of dead people.
Paintings like you're in the Royal Museum.
Right. And there's large vases or vases, as some people pronounce. It's like walking into a time capsule. Good for kids, yes, because there was a party of about 12 who was seated in our room. There was a baby who was crying for a good amount of time. So yes, kids are welcome.
Yeah, that's funny. One giant table next to us had a huge party. Like it was a family. It seemed like all ages, kids, babies, grandparents, and then there was another table on the other side of us, full of about 8 people in their 80s or 90s. Right. And we were overhearing their conversation because they were so close to us, and they had been friends for like decades, all of them, and they were having some sort of annual or I don't know, there's some sort of get together that they do.
Sort of catch up. Like, is your son Eddie still alive?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to listen to them talk. It was
something. And the dress, casual, formal, very casual.
Yeah.
We were like, so this is our date night. This is our anniversary. We left the Wild Chows at home, and we were going to be adults and have a fancy time upon the town. So we got a little dressed up. But there were people who were wearing shorts.
Yeah, I mean, I was still wearing jeans, but I put on a necklace, okay? And I had my hair down and I had makeup on, so I was pretty dang fancy.
You were fancying it up. Speed of service. We'll get to that.
That's a whole topic of its own.
Staff friendly / helpful. Sort of. We'll get to that. So let's talk about the crowd there. So we get there, and like I said, there were 15, 20 people there waiting to get in. There was an old man with an Asian gal who was literally in a nurse's scrubs uniform. And so right away, I poke you with my elbow and I go, 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, dear.
It was old people and some Asian people, which we actually looked into the West Sacramento demographics, and Asians are abnormal, just higher than the United States of America.
Yeah, surprisingly high demographic of Asian residents.
And so we walk in, and right away, and this is 402, 403. We're waiting. We don't have reservations. People have reservations, which we were like, oh, what the heck? But the phone was ringing off the hook.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't have like a receptionist or a front desk person or someone in the office taking these calls. This is the lady who is assigning you to seating, the hostess, as you did at Gold River Applebee's, honey, for a year or something.
4 months.
4 months. It was 4 months, between 4 months and a year. 4 months. So she's taking calls for pickup orders and reservations, and it was a lot of like. She would answer the phone. Oh, hey, Jerry. Oh, yeah, I'll seat you with Pam in the back room at 6:30.
Yeah.
So we got the sense that the staff had been working there for decades, a few decades. Our waitress, maybe more than a few decades. And the customers have been coming there for decades. So it was
It seemed very familiar.
Very familiar.
We were like fish out of water because it was our very first time there. We didn't know what the heck was going on.
Right.
Everyone else there seemed like, we've been here. This is like a tradition.
We know what we get. And hey, Bob, the waiter, how's it going? So very familiar, and we were just like, we saw you on Yelp.
We've driven by you for the past year, and now we want to come in.
It's our anniversary. Just some more thoughts here. It was very dark.
Oh, so dark.
We tried to get, we actually took a few selfies and just pictures of our food. Were difficult to come out, or came out just poor quality because it was poorly lit.
Yes, and then I got something was in my eye.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I had to go to the bathroom, and the lighting in the bathroom was so dark. I couldn't see my eyeball. I couldn't get it out.
Right. And did you walk into that dark bathroom? Did you close the door? Did you look in the mirror and did you go, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and then she came out. Did that happen? I
should have.
Oh. You should write that on their Yelp. Bloody Mary came out of the mirror. Actually, I have that. Dark bathroom is on my notes here. It's poorly lit, I would say. And I would say it's poorly lit to hide...
Oh, dear.
To hide the oldness. To hide the just age of the place.
Yeah.
The brokenness of the place.
It's a bit run down. It could use with a fresh makeover.
Yes.
They don't need to like necessarily change anything, just maybe like a freshening up,
right?
Because I think some people appreciate like it's looked the same forever, like that's part of the appeal.
Yes.
These people who've been going there forever.
They should call HGTV or something. Or the Restaurant Impossible Guy Fieri, Kitchen Nightmares, Hell's
Gordon
Kitchen. Gordon Ramsay. Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri is the guy who wears sunglasses backwards on his head. But
they're both blonde.
He's very appealing. Yes. But yeah, they could do with the once over with a new fresh look, a fresh do, a reboot, if you will, like J.J. Abrams with the Star Trek in 2007. I mentioned it kind of has Disneyland Club 33 vibes, just like old school. And I've never been inside Club 33.
Neither have I.
And it's very secretive, but I have seen pictures on the internet. And we were seated in a big room, a large room, which was empty. So I don't exactly know the blueprint of the place, but
it was
many
odd.
blue rooms or some small.
I was trying to find my way to the bathroom. Right. I didn't ask anybody because I kind of wanted to wander around.
Yeah.
There's multiple rooms.
Yeah.
There's like some rooms have multiple entrances. I got lost a little bit, but I liked that because I kind of wanted to see the space.
Right.
It's very odd.
Yeah. Well, I
remember,
not
your typical restaurant.
I remember when you went to the dark bathroom, as they're calling it on Reddit, you walked out one way, but then you came in through another exit/entrance, and I was like,
I walked out one door, and then I discovered that the room we were in had multiple doors, so I found another one to come back in.
Right. Well, is that Bloody Mary's fault, honey? Big room, and it was empty at first, but it eventually filled up.
It did fill up. They were so busy. I couldn't believe it, to be honest.
And so right away, it was all about our selfie. Because it is our anniversary night. It is our big date night.
We got to capture it. We got to look cute.
Yeah.
For all of you out there.
Again, it was very difficult. So if you do take a selfie at Pheasant Club, bring your ring light, which you can get on Amazon for like $20-$40. But you want to keep that in mind. Taking pictures of your food. Well, because we've been on their Yelp. I've been on the Yelp multiple times. And the pictures of food... very crappy.
Yeah.
But you understand it now because there's almost no light in there.
I think you turned on your flash.
Right. And so the table next to us, it was just us. It was a table for 4, but we were 2 people, obviously. But there was a big round table right behind me, and it had about 8 people, and a couple of them had walkers.
That was the old crew I was talking about.
They were old school. They were old school. They had been there. They'd been there many times, and they might not be there for many more times, if you know what I'm saying. Rest in power. But that was kind of quote unquote interesting to have a bunch of old people kind of chatting it up, shooting the shit,
drinking their wine.
And at one point, like because one of them, they had to park their walkers against the side of the wall, and it was near me. And they're like, "Hey, we're gonna put our walkers here," and I was like, "No worries." And I bumped into them a few times, just kind of milling about. The music, get to ambiance. At one point, they did have. Well, in the beginning of our in our stay there, honey, they were playing 98 Degrees. I Do.
They were playing music that you and I listened to here at home.
Yes.
It was so meant to be.
It was
our anniversary, honey.
Didn't
they played Richard Marx also.
Right. And they played Kelly Clarkson. It was quite that, because you think like, hey, this is an old fancy restaurant from 1935 and steeped in tradition, and here's some 98 Degrees. So it was odd music choice, but you rolled with it.
It was fun for us. We enjoyed it.
Right. We're big fans of 98 Degrees and Nick Lachey and Jeff Timmons. And so we dug their music. The temperature. I thought the temperature was pretty warm. So we could have sat outside, and they do have a nice outside area. It's big, and they got like umbrellas, the canopies and everything. But we sat inside just for the decor, romance, ambiance.
Yeah, I wanted to experience the decor and the indoors. Also, I was concerned that we wouldn't get put in the shade. And I cannot tolerate direct sunlight, my love.
Correct. Because
as we've discussed in prior episodes,
very fair skinned. Yes.
Yes.
You
burn.
You burn easily. But I thought the thermostat could have been taken down a few notches.
Yeah, it was a bit warm. And then I was thinking, well, I think their patronage it scales to the older ages, like 70 to 90. Right. And older people want it warm.
They need the warmth.
They don't like being cold.
Yeah.
So I think
because cold reminds them of dying, which is coming soon, honey. I'm sorry. Can you turn the thermostat up to 90? I'm gonna die. Over here. The ceiling was cork, which was odd.
Cork ceiling.
Different, cork unique, board. But really, in the end, cheap.
Ugly.
Yeah, not aesthetically pleasing. Some adjectives I wrote. It's like it's different. It's like fancy but cheap. Like, I'm talking about just the whole ambiance, the decor, just the feeling. Cheap, fancy but cheap. Dowdy, not ritzy. Kind of low-end, low rent. And the darkness, too, kind of contributes to, like, there's something going on in that room over there. There are hookers giving happy endings in that room.
Honey.
Listen, honey, this is just what came to my mind.
There's a few different types of darkness.
Yes.
There's like romantic darkness.
Yes.
And then there's dingy darkness.
Yes.
And this scaled on the dingy end of darkness.
Right. I would say it's right between romantic and dingy, which is where you want your massage parlor to be, right, honey? Another note, at the table, there's no salt shaker.
No salt, no
there's
pepper.
No pepper. There's no ketchup bottle, which, okay, like, it's not a diner.
Right.
But still, there was nothing at the table. Okay, let's move on to our waitress, who was a larger gal, honey.
She's a jubial lady.
She was a jubial / jovial. She was old, and
she wasn't old.
She was older. She'd
probably
been
in her
there.
50s.
Okay. When do you get old? 60s, honey?
I don't know.
I would classify her as old. She has seen better days, let's just say. And she was a larger lady who was slow, who walked slow. And I worked at Walmart in Antelope, California for a year-ish. And she reminded me of my female coworkers there who were older and who ambled around. And I would be like, how do you help a customer if you walk so jaggedly? But she was a larger old lady. And again, the feeling you get is that the staff has been here for a few decades, and the customers have been coming here for a few decades. But the way she was very gingerly in how she served us, and to be straight up, she was slow and inattentive. at one point, she was very slow to refill our waters.
Oh, we were very thirsty throughout this entire meal.
Right.
We
were
constantly were needing more water.
Dehydrated. And near in this room, it was a big room, but there was like a little waiter/waitress station where they have the cups and they have some silverware and they have ice and they have some whatever ketchup packets going on. And I just thought I was like, well, I can walk over there and fill our cups up with ice.
Because of COVID, I guarantee they wouldn't want you anywhere near that. If it wasn't COVID times, I bet they wouldn't mind someone just going up and serving themselves, helping themselves to something off that table.
Yeah. And I wanted more water.
I know, we both did.
Yeah. And well, it gets to the thing. We've been to IHOP a few times, the dine-in experience, where they give you a giant carafe pitcher of hot coffee.
Yeah.
If you order coffee, they give you this thing that has 6-8 cups of coffee, so you can serve your coffee. You can pour your coffee all day and not have to wait for a waitress to notice you and come over and she's busy or she's not busy. But why don't they just have pitchers of ice water at tables?
It's very, very rare that a restaurant gives you a jug of water. They really should. All of them should. Otherwise, they keep having to come back to you.
Yeah.
But we definitely could have done with that ourselves because we were parched.
We could have done with a more swift waitress, a little more velocity, honey. And she delivered things with zero context, which we'll get into the fried ravioli.
Let's talk about our ordering process because she, like right off the bat, where she kind of said a few things that threw us, and we weren't sure how to respond to them.
Mm-hmm.
So we ordered our food.
Yes.
You asked for a side of pesto with your meal.
Yes.
And she said,
what do you mean? Or no, she said, what for?
Yeah, she said, what for?
And I was like, to dip my fries in. And then she goes, oh, you mean the liquid stuff or the liquid kind? And I go, no, lady, bring me some pine nuts. Bring me some basil. Bring me a blender, and I want to whip my own pesto out. What the hell, lady?
We were so thrown. Like, what are you talking about? Why did you ask him what he wants pesto for?
I want a side of pesto.
What are you talking about? What is liquid pesto? What is solid pesto? What are you talking about?
And you know what? Pesto is thick. THICC. So, to the bigger question, scientifically speaking, metamorphically speaking, would you... Maybe this is about to light the internet on fire, but is pesto a liquid, honey, or is it a solid? It's in the middle.
There's a word. Lennox and I were just watching some scientific video. There's a word for something that is not liquid and not solid, and I'm forgetting it at this moment.
Right.
But it's out there, you guys. Google it.
Right. But so it was I'm like, oh, just a side of pesto because I want to dip my French fries in this pesto. What for?
What for?
Who are you, my mom? Because I want some pesto.
That's so
and
weird.
I said, to dip my fries in, oh, you mean the liquid kind?
What?
Yeah, sure. Do you have solid pesto that you have
to
to
frozen squares.
Right. Do you want to bring me out a knife? It was a loaf of pesto. Very odd. Just a few more ideas. She would bring stuff out with no context. Like she would just bring stuff to our table and then walk away.
So first,
like slam things down. Here, fat boy, and then walk away. And I wanted to mention the marinara and barbecue sauce, which came in cheap plastic containers. Zero context, zero. I don't need a poem or soliloquy.
I want to say like the order that these things came out in.
Yes.
So the first thing that she brought out was our appetizer we ordered, which was the fried ravioli.
Small fried ravioli appetizer for $8.95. Yes.
It came with a cup of red sauce.
Okay.
With like a squirt of yellow sauce on top of the red sauce.
Yes.
We had no idea what it was. She didn't say. She put it down and left.
Right.
So we're like, what is this? We're dipping it. And we're both going, I think this is marinara.
Yeah.
And then you were brave.
It got to the point of what's marinara versus ketchup? Because they're both kind of, they're not liquid and they're not solid. They're both kind of sweet. So I was eating the red stuff. So it comes out with the dipping sauce it's about 90% red which is marinara, and then 10% yellow.
So you're brave, and you took one of the raviolis and you dipped it in the yellow.
Well, okay. Now, here's how it went down. So I'm not sure if the right stuff is marinara or ketchup, but whatever. Fried ravioli, I'm dipping in this sauce/condiment. Okay, it's fine. And I had seen pictures of this accoutrement, this deal on Yelp, and I was like, okay. Well, first of all, I thought it was ketchup and mustard, and the marinara is so not marinara-y or not pasta-y or not pizza saucy, but very close to ketchup. So I was like, okay, the yellow is mustard. I went in thinking it was mustard, and I kept thinking it was mustard.
It was a bit
regular
dark.
Mustard.
I thought it was like spicy mustard or like the what's that brown? Not brown mustard, but like like maybe Grey Poupon-y
Dijon
type of Dijon.
Yeah. So I'm dipping in the red. I'm like, okay, this is ketchup or pizza sauce or marinara.
It was more on the marinara end.
It was fine. But then I'm like, well, this is mustard. And again, she gave us zero indication as to what this was.
She dropped it and left.
She threw it on, and she went back to her 90-year-old octogenarians. November. What's 9? Octogenarians is 80.
Oh, I don't know.
90 is noventagenarian.
I don't know.
But so I'm like, well, this is mustard. So I dip fried ravioli in the mustard, and it turns out it's hot mustard. And I'm not kidding, hot mustard. Like, for 30 seconds, I was like, well, this is something.
I was worried about you.
Yeah.
I was kind of concerned that we were going to have to, like, call 911.
It was...
Because you were like, this is hot. This is really hot. Like, you were serious, and you started immediately sweating like crazy.
Right. I was just like, as Sean Evans on Hot Ones, I was like, I just gotta get on top of this. I gotta get behind it. It needs to move past me in terms of the heat, and I need to get on top of it. And I got this.
It was the bomb.
I can conquer this. This is the bomb. There were 9 trillion Scoville units, but for about 30 seconds, I was like, holy Toledo, this is hot as hell.
And maybe this is what started our need of water from this point on throughout the end of the meal.
Oh, yeah.
Because you went through your water, and I think you went through all of my glass of water as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we needed water. The large lady was nowhere to be seen. And at one point, we didn't have water, or we needed water. We asked for water. She's like, oh, that guy was supposed to give you water, but he's busy. And then she said something, and it was like, well, we haven't seen a guy.
We have not seen a guy. We've seen women.
We've seen you. You are a waitress.
There's been no man in this room.
There's no guy filling water. What the hell are you talking about, lady?
We're thirsty.
Right. So I do admire the fact that she threw shade on this alleged guy who was supposed to fill us water, who we didn't see, but we needed water. And so, okay, so it was intense. It was a lot. It didn't last long. Like I said, it was about 30 seconds where I wanted to keel over and die. But I got on top of it, and it passed, and I was like, okay, I'm not touching that yellow stuff again. So she comes over, and at some point in the meal, I'm like, hey, is that yellow stuff hot mustard? And she goes, oh, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, why didn't you let us know? Like, hey, here's some marinara and here's some super hot mustard. You might want to be careful. Nothing. Boom. Throw it down. Here, fat ass. Eat this, fat boy. And then I know you had Carmelitas and you ate too many chips and salsa, and then you came home and had trail mix and potato chips and pork rinds. So just eat more, fatty. That's what she was saying in my head, honey.
And then after she said, "Oh yeah, it's hot," and then she said, "Is this? Have you not been here before?"
Right.
And we were like, "No, we haven't."
Right. So so I go, "Hey, is that hot mustard?" She goes, "Oh yeah, it's hot mustard. It'll make your head explode."
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you found that out the hard way.
Right. She was like, it'll make you sweat. And then she comes with, oh, you've never been here before? And I'm like, no. We moved here about a year ago. And what the hell are we talking about, lady? How about you err on the side of caution and say, hey, that's some hot mustard. You might this might be the 6th time I've been here in 14 years, but maybe say, hey, you might want to watch out for the yellow stuff. So you never been here before? No, we haven't. But thanks for the heads up.
So that was the ravioli. That was our appetizer. And then we weren't expecting this, but she brings a bowl of like garlic bread to the table. Yes. In addition to 2 little cups of sauce. Right. One is a red sauce and one is like a darker brown sauce.
Right.
No context. She doesn't tell us what it is. She drops it and goes.
She drops it, again, slamming it down on the table. Like, eat this, you losers.
So we're like, what is this? And
we deduced. We hopped on our phones. We hopped on the Google. We took pictures. We posted on Facebook, hey, what sauce is this, guy? But we deduced that one of them... first of all, let's just talk about the containers. Because they came in cheap plastic containers.
Like to-go containers. Right,
with a plastic lid on them. Like you're ordering to-go from Chili's. So as opposed to dine-in where they give you a small ramekin, a small little bowl, small dish with some dip, it's just cheap plastic containers, and one is dark brownish, and one is red.
Yes. So I was like, is this? We didn't
know,
and we had garlic bread with it. So we were like, what?
Okay.
I did dip a piece of my bread into the darker sauce, and I was like, okay, this is like A1 sauce.
It was A1 steak
and I was like,
sauce.
well, you don't usually dip bread in A1 sauce, but I did, so I ate it. It's very odd. What was it for? We still don't know what it was for or why we got it. She didn't tell us.
The other thing was it barbecue sauce or marinara?
I think it was another marinara.
Another marinara. Yeah. Okay. And again, we have zero clues. Like, what are we, Inspector Gadget over here? We got to start send this sample off to the Food and Drug Administration. Come back in a week and tell us what these dipping sauces are. But one was an A1-ish steak sauce. The other was more marinara. They came in cheap plastic containers. And they came with garlic bread, which was quote-unquote free. The garlic bread... First of all, there was no garlic.
It was just like buttered bread.
It was buttered bread. And listen, honey, when you give me some hot, soft bread that has butter spread all over it, I'm all about that life. Yeah, I'm down.
For sure.
I'm into it. And I ate it and I enjoyed it, but there was no garlic. Like when we make garlic bread, we throw garlic all over that mold. We throw garlic in the butter. We throw garlic in the cheese. We throw garlic in the oven. It's nonstop garlic. So it was just buttered bread. It was a roll split in half with some butter, which is fine. Butter and bread, who can go wrong? And it's hot and soft and warm. But it was just very, very just. It wasn't garlic, quote unquote, garlic bread. So okay. Let's move on to our entrees. My wife, I'm reading that. Sorry. Wife, which is you, honey. You got the steak salad, the large size, which cost $15.50, which is described as marinated beef tenderloin, cherry tomatoes, crumbled blue cheese, and onion rings over romaine tossed in ranch dressing for again $15.50. What did you think? What did you like it? What's your hot take, honey?
I got the ranch on the side.
Correct.
So
which
she brought out my salad.
Yes.
She brought out all of our food.
Yes.
But then my ranch wasn't there, and then she scurried away, and I was like, I didn't have time to ask her for it.
Right.
So I just kind of sat there. And
right.
I couldn't she didn't come back, so I couldn't flag her down. But eventually, just on her own, she brought me a little cup of ranch. Thank goodness.
Right.
And then I just ended up pouring the entire thing over because it was a very, very tiny amount. So
small, yeah.
I just poured the entire thing over. Yeah. It was not cherry tomatoes. It was like 2 slices of a normal sized tomato.
Oh dear.
Very little tomato.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine.
How was the steak in the salad?
The steak was fine.
Okay.
The steak was kind of on par with Subway steak, which we had a few days earlier.
Oh, that's not a compliment. That's not high praise, honey.
It's fine.
Right.
I cleared my plate.
Mm-hmm. 1 to 10, honey?
Well, 5.5.
Okay. Well, let me bring up 2 points which you are embarrassed to bring up, or you just forgot, whatever. Within this salad, $15.50, there were, which is tossed over romaine lettuce, there were 2 cores of a romaine head.
I didn't forget.
That you threw a skew. You threw to the small plate in front of you. Like, what the hell is going on in the kitchen? That here's a couple romaine cores that are inedible.
Yeah,
and let's serve them to our patron for $15.50.
Yes, I didn't forget.
Whoa.
I just tried to forget.
What was your thoughts on that?
I thought it was very odd that 2 cores would make it into one salad.
Right.
And it was the large size, but it wasn't very large.
Yeah.
Like, I ate the entire thing, and I was fine. I wasn't super full. I wasn't...
To repeat, 2 inedible cores of a romaine head served in a salad that cost nearly $16.
What was your other note on my salad?
Well, so what we do, me and you, honey, I don't know, we're married. We love each other. We talk about food all week from Monday to Friday, and then we go out to eat on the weekends, and that's how we live our lives, and there's nothing better. But, so we read in the description that there are onion rings on this steak salad. And I don't know, whatever it was, Tuesday or Thursday, but you were like, oh, I'm going to get the steak salad. And I was like, well, there's onion rings on it. So a fried onion ring on a cold lettuce,
very
cold
odd.
Produce. I was skeptical, but you charged through, honey. You were brave. You were like, I want that steak salad.
Who doesn't want onion rings?
Right.
So yeah, onion rings on a salad, very odd, very unusual. They were fine. Mm-hmm. Burger Kings are better. I'm just going to say it.
Well, that's because they're on the side and you can dip the hell out of them because they're so tiny.
It was an odd addition to the salad.
Yeah.
Again, I ate it. I ate the entire dang thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't need onion rings on a salad in the future.
Darling daughter, Luna Marie.
Sure, you stuck on something.
Oh, yeah. our robotic vacuum is stuck on something, and darling daughter, Luna Marie, is quote-unquote fixing it. Oh, she's on the pod. We booked an A-list guest, honey. Okay, so no ranch at first, which they eventually bring up.
Well, it said tossed in ranch. So I imagine them putting it in a bowl, tossing it with ranch. So I imagined every inch coated in ranch.
Okay.
Which I didn't want.
Right.
So I got it on the side.
Yeah.
But again, of such a tiny amount, I poured the entire little cup over it.
Yeah. Well, just getting the ranch, because as I said, she was a larger woman, busy with a few other tables, one with octogenarians aplenty. We didn't get your ranch for a little bit. 2 romaine lettuce cores and onion rings on the salad, which I was very skeptical of. Did you rate it? You did rate it.
Yeah, 5.5.
5.5. Okay. I had the penne, Penn. P-E-N-N-E.
It's penne.
Penne, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
With Italian sausage. I also had a half portion of garlic steak sandwich, which is really just one steak sandwich. It's very odd, their ordering system, their menu. So if you get a full portion, it's 2 steak sandwiches, and they're small. The piece of bread, which I'll get into in a second. You get a half portion, you get 1 steak sandwich, and then a full portion, you get 2.
And
So I got the half garlic steak sandwich, served on a garlic French roll, with fries on the side. Now, what they don't tell you is that this garlic steak sandwich is literally the alleged garlic bread. It's bread with butter on it, with low quality steak, which is a thin slice, but they should disclose that. Like, this is what you just had for free. This bread with some low-end steak. So I was just... well, that's what I got. So let me start with the penne with Italian sausage. The pasta, very unremarkable. It was... And the sauce, the pasta sauce, just... It was akin to ragu or prego. It's fine.
I was going to just pause him.
How do you do that? Well, then.
He's very loud.
I know. Well, he went through 20 minutes, so I'm like...
I know, but he's like right here now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the pasta, just very middling. It was akin to just the stuff you buy in the pasta aisle at Walmart, and jarred, canned pasta sauce. Just not much to it. And, well, to be frank, for however much I paid for it, which is... I got a small, which was $9.95. No, not a fan. Now, it did come, because it is penne with sausage, so it did come with a giant link of sausage, which I'm a sausage guy, honey, as you know. Anytime I get sausage, especially over ground beef, I'm all about that life. So it came with like a half link. It was a generous portion of a sausage. I thought was very good, very tasty. The pasta, the sauce that came with it, not good, underwhelming. What's the opposite of not exceeding expectations? Very disappointing. But the sausage was very good. Move on to my garlic steak sandwich, which again was the garlic bread, which they gave for free. I think they gave us 3 pieces, and I ate 2 of them because I'm a fatty, honey. The preceding free garlic bread, and then thin strip of steak on it. The steak was bad. It was just not good, and it wasn't seasoned well, or it wasn't seasoned at all. The quality of the steak up in the air.
Yeah, agree.
Just it wasn't good. The bread, again, you give me some warm bread out of the oven and splash some butter on it. I'm all about that life. But the garlic steak sandwich as a whole, no, not good. Did not like. Me not likey.
No.
So now go to my side of pesto, which she asked, "What for?" Because I want some pesto, lady. And I got it in a little tub, or a little jar, a little bowl. Fantastic, excellent pesto. You had some of it, honey.
I dipped a fry in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was yummy.
It was. I thought it was outstanding. And the fries, which came with the sandwich as the side of the garlic stick sandwich, which sucked. The fries I thought were good. So when you dip a very good fry into the excellent pesto, I was in heaven. I was like, I could eat about 9,000 calories of this. But the penne with the sauce, not good. Garlic steak sandwich, not good. Which is the majority of the cost, let's be honest, of what's going on. Both very just poor experiences. But the pesto, excellent, and you don't get a ton, but you get a nice amount. Fries, very good, and as I said previously, the sausage, which is about half of a giant link, very impressive. So overall, the penne with Italian sausage. See, the Italian, the penne with the Sunday sauce, or whatever as they call it, the marinara, I would give it a 3, but that Italian sausage, I would give it a solid 7. And then the garlic steak sandwich, it was also a 3, maybe a 4, because, well, again, hot bread with butter splashed on it is super yummy, but the steak, very bad. But I would give the garlic steak sandwich a 3 or 4. But the fries that came with it, they were a solid 6, maybe a 7. And again, so sausage, fries, pesto, excellent. Garlic steak sandwich, penne with sauce, very bad. just not enjoyable, and super overpriced. So get a side of fries, dip them in some pesto, and when she asks you what for, because just to answer, because I want some pesto, because I feel like it. So that was our meal. And then the waitress, so we're making small talk after.
Yeah,
and,
she's clearing our plates.
Yeah, she's picking up our refuse, and she mentioned her. Well, she body shamed me is what she did, honey. She made me feel bad for eating too much, ordering 2 entrees for myself. I'm a real man, honey. I lift. I don't know if you know. I'm in the gym. But she said something to the effect of, "Wow, my son, she was impressed that I ordered so much that I ate so much."
She said, "Wow, I can't believe you ate all that. That's like as much as my son can eat. He's about 6'7".
Right. My son Nicholas. And I go, "Hey, my last name is Nicholas." And she goes, "Oh, really?" And so we bonded there. But she didn't need to mention that I ordered a lot, that I ate a lot. Listen, I just came from Carmelita.
You sure can put it away, can't you?
I just came from Carmelita's, and I've had trail mix and pork rinds while waiting for you people to open at 4:02, which was late. I didn't think she needed to throw that in there. I knew I was eating a lot. I knew I was engorging myself. I knew I was pigging out. And thanks for body shaming me. Make me curl into the corner in the fetal position with my thumb in my mouth, crying, saying, "It'll be better, Vince. It'll be better." But she won you over because she referred to us when she was like, "Okay, I'll be right back." And she said, "I'll be right back with your check, my loves."
Yeah. She called us my loves. And I was like, "Oh, that's sweet."
Sure, honey. After she body shamed me, but I like you. I call you my love.
Yeah, maybe that's why I was like so touched.
That's one of my nicknames. So after the lack of water, the lack of introduction of this super hot mustard sauce.
Here's a bunch of sauces. I'm not going to tell you what any of them are or what you're meant to dip them in.
This yellow stuff will melt your face off, but shh, I won't tell you. "Oh, is this your first time? Have you been here before?" She called you my loves, and then when we were leaving, she said, because I said, "Hey, my last name is Nicholas. Her son's name is Nicholas." So when we were leaving, she said, "Okay, goodbye, Mr. Nicholas." And I was like, "And that when that sent your heart a Twitter, honey?"
Yeah.
Well, actually, to be frank, I don't get called Mr. Nicholas a lot, and it's sort of to the bigger picture. It's sort of me growing into. I am a patriarch. I am a man. I'm a head of this household, sort of. Although you make more money than I, honey. But just becoming an adult and growing up, and her calling me Mr. Nicholas, I dug it.
Yeah,
it's something still new to me. It's something still new to me. But I was like, yeah,
She's a keeper.
I'm a upstanding member of the West Sacramento community. Okay, so my conclusion, honey, is that we'll never go back to Pheasant Club. What about you, honey? And we will go back to Carmelita's, although I probably won't order the same thing that I got. But
I completely agree. I think we will go back to Pheasant Club because my parents, I was texting them some photos of us inside the restaurant.
Oh, dear.
And my mom said, "Let's go there when I get back home."
Oh, Liz Fisher, if we only knew. Well, we heard from a few people, because I went for, to keep it short, I went for a walk around that area by myself, and I took some pictures, and we heard from a few people, and just from our pictures that we put on Instagram stories, "Oh, that place is yummy. Oh, I like that place."
I couldn't believe how many people were commenting that they've been there, and "Oh, get this, get that," and it was like stuff we got and not good.
Yeah. What's wrong with it? Have these people never eaten out before?
Have you not been here since 1996?
Right.
Maybe there's a different cook now.
Were you here on opening day in 1935 because things done changed? Yeah, so maybe it has this reputation for being stellar, and old people, octogenarians who were on walkers and in their 80s, they're about to die. They're not out here looking for a quality meal experience, so they just keep going there because they're afraid to try anything new. Because, well, when you're 90, honey, and you waste 5 seconds of your time, that's you 5 seconds to closer to the grave. But yeah. Pheasant Club, never again. Well, I guess we have to go because Alan and Liz Fisher are visiting us.
Are you gonna make your in-laws happy or not, honey?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Oh, you know what? Speaking of parents, I wanted to say that my mom said, what did she say? Do you still feel?
Do your hearts feel the same?
Yeah, she texted me after I sent her some cute pictures of us frolicking in the park. Do your hearts feel the same? And that's just my mom's personality. And I have some of that because, like when I see on Facebook how people, when they get married, and then on Facebook, they do the joint announcement, like, Bob married.
They
Laura.
They update their status to being married.
Relationship status.
Your relationship, yeah, and then you're married, and you tag the other person, so it shows up on their thingy.
Yeah, or even in a relationship, like in
a relationship with. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I see that on my Facebook feed, the grandma teen in me is like, okay, how long until you losers break up? How long until the divorce? I'm just counting the days until all hell breaks loose and your worlds come crumbling around you. So that's maybe where I get it from, where my mom gets it from. But anyways, that's a little insight into my head. Well, like I told Luna Marie, find yourself a nice boy who had a nice Asian boy who, like me, had a tiger mom, but it didn't completely destroy my perspective on life.
Aspects of it peek through here and there.
Right. You got the good, and then the bad didn't permanently damage your psyche.
It's funny, you're such a pessimist when you see other people displaying their love, but with me, you're so sweet and romantic and like lovey.
Yes.
What's up with that?
It's the dichotomy. It's the constant yin and yang of my life. I don't know. Because I'm just naturally skeptical of everything. I was actually thinking about it today, but to be frank, I think everyone is unhappy, and I'm unhappy. But I recognize that, and I admit it. And I don't mean I'm unhappy with you. I just mean like we're all kind of yearning for something larger in life, like something that's going on besides the everyday mundane,
the routine of life,
the routine, just the everyday. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, just
the monotony,
the rut. But I can recognize that and think this sucks. But then I also think, as you know, I love you. I love our home. I truly love our life. And this week that I've been off, I was like, this is a peek into our retirement where we're just gonna hang another issue is like I could have drank all week. Like I'm on a vacation, I'm gonna drink, but then I was like, what the hell would be the point of that? Because you're not gonna drink, and I would be drunk by myself, and that's just dumb. And then it would make on Friday and Saturday, and today's Sunday, and I'm drinking. But it would make the weekend special.
Yeah,
and it just wouldn't like. Well, a recent Thursday at work, Kem, Khem, my coworker, and we have a running bit/gag/joke like Vince drinks White Claw. Okay, ha ha he he, whatever. I don't care. But it was a Thursday. And Ken was like, hey, Vince, you going to go home and drink some White Claw? And I go, no, not till Friday. Because I keep drinking and us gallivanting about to the weekends. And Monday through Thursday, sometimes it's hard to take, honey, the monotony of life.
There's no alcohol, and I feed you cauliflower rice and veggies for dinner.
There's a lot of vegetables, and there's a bunch of lean chicken. Oh, well, now that you're putting it like that, honey. No, but Kem goes, hey, Vince, you're going to go home and drink some White Claw. And I go, no, not till Friday. And it was Thursday. And he goes, well, I've drank every day this week. And I said, good for you. And he has a small child, and he has a wife. And so I got into the whole, well, does he drink every day? And how much does he drink every day? And does his baby mama / wife drink every day? And how do they handle, I'm a 3-year-old. His daughter is 3 or 4. I just peed. And how much did you drink? Like 40 ounces? And is it difficult to handle a 4-year-old peeing in her pants? I don't know. So, what are we talking about? Oh, yeah.
We're talking about your pessimisticity, and yet it doesn't...
everyone.
And yet, like, in our day-to-day life, I don't really see that. Maybe you're hiding that, or maybe it's not, like, present in your actual, like, existence with me and our home and our kids.
I'm very realistic, but as I've told you many times, honey, I'm very comfortable in our life and my role in our life and our family. And I'm very appreciative and grateful that you brought this to me. As I like to say, you brought me 2 potty trained children. You brought me a to-go family pickup, like when you call the Pheasant Club and you say, "I'm ordering pickup." It was already assembled for me.
And you missed the potty training. You missed some of the hard phases, but you're gonna be here for the teenage years,
right? But darling Luna Marie, who I adore, nonstop cute. Just remember when we picked her up the other day,
and oop.
She was just walking down the street, and I was like, "Look at Luna Marie," and you were like, "She's so cute." She was. She's a tall, so growing young woman, and it's such a joy. But anyways, Pheasant Club and Carmelita. Yeah.
Well, this is all like encompassing the fact that we're married. We're celebrating our 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
We're talking about our family.
Absolutely. So speaking of family, if you have a couple of wild childs, aka what we call them, our wild childs, so we went to Pheasant Club by ourselves, and it's literally 2 minutes away. We came home, and you said, "I want to go walk." Now, I have been eating since Carmelita's pretty much nonstop.
I wanted to walk right outside of Pheasant Club and go like walk around the block there.
Right. And I was like, I want to go home and die.
Yes.
I want to go, well, to put it bluntly, I want to go home and poop and lie on the floor and die for about 4 to 6 hours. You wanted to go for a walk. And I said, well, honey, how about I drive home and then you can walk in our little condo complex, which is a nice walking area. And I will go upstairs and poop and take a shower and then want to die. So we came home. And you didn't even come upstairs. Like you didn't need to grab your shoes. You didn't grab your wallet, your phone, or whatever. You were just I dropped you off outside, just outside our little condominium, and you went for a walk. And I thought in my head, okay, I'm coming home to darling daughter Luna Marie and darling son Lennox Albert by myself. And they saw us leave together, but I was like, well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say Mommy went for a walk. Mommy left us for her second family. Mommy is buying guns at the Big Five Sporting Goods. I'm not going to say anything, and I'm going to see what it was like. It was like a YouTube prank, okay? And I'm going to film their reactions, and then we're going to put it on YouTube and go viral. So I walk in, and hey, Len, and I kind of see Luna in passing. She just left. She was finishing a shower, so I saw her for 2 seconds as she went from the bathroom up to her loft. I saw Len. He was watching YouTube on our big television, and he was going crazy. Well, you saw him later.
He does his parkour in the living room.
Parkour, hardcore. He was going nuts.
Flipping over the ottoman.
Right, and I was like, okay. And because I was the only parent in the vicinity, I said, Len, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I will be in there for a little while, so just keep it together, simmer down, or don't. I was like,
don't bust your head while I'm gone.
I was like, don't come in there. To quote Friday again, honey, don't nobody come around here for 45 minutes about out. So I did my thing. But my point was, I didn't mention you. I walk in. We left together. I walk in by myself. I didn't say anything, and. I see Luna, I see Lennox, and I go to the bathroom, and I come out. I'm washed up, I'm pretty, and honey, not to burst your bubble or hurt your feelings, but there wasn't an inquiry from either wild child about as to your whereabouts.
No one cares.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Yeah. And it was just,
you could all carry on without me. That's what I learned.
Well, it just speaks to parenting. And as long as the children, they don't need to be fed, but as long as there's Nutty Buddies in the cup board and there's pizza rolls in the freezer, your presence, not, if there's not an emergency going on, it's kind of put to the wayside.
Glad to know you're all just fine without me.
Yeah. So
that makes me happy.
If you're a parent, you know exactly what we're talking about. If you're a to-be parent, this is how it is. And just a word of wisdom, a note to the wise. Alrighty. That is the end of the program.
Finally!
It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, or don't. Do whatever you want. You're a grown-up. Make your own decisions. Do what's best for your family. Please be sure to use our promo code for ZipRecruiter. We don't have a promo code for ZipRecruiter. Goodbye. I love you. We love you. We hope you have a good day. today, and tomorrow. And sure, I may have called out our BBW waitress. That means big, beautiful woman, honey. And sure, I may have called out our BBW waitress for being a tad slow and inattentive, but I'm still a good person, and we're still good people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day/night. Bye-bye.